Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price,
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
and you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard.
Mata into a trap. What about that? Ivanovic!
In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's sent in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off.
Palmer, João Pedro, it's three, and Chelsea are running away with the FIFA Club World Cup final.
Hat-trick hero, Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
overrated, underrated, or fairly rated. This is the ultimate Chelsea squad reality check. And of course, Bertha and Nolly aren't on. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm your host, Mike, and I'm joined in this virtual room filled with Lion. It is, of course, the Mikey and Chris Friday show on a Thursday, which means it's Chris. Chris. You turn up every damn week. But what are you looking forward to this weekend? What are you getting the listeners on the edge of their seat about?
Hopefully 2 games of football this weekend.
Always love to.
Yeah, home game on Saturday. So a win takes us to within 7 points of securing the title, which can come down to 1 point because our next game is against second place. So if we beat them, that'll leave us needing only 1 point after that. And then hopefully, should get a game on Sunday with the girls because we haven't had like days and days of consistent rain all week.
Well, that is true. That is true. We had a rare bit of snow, and by snow, we didn't see that. The hills of Shropshire saw that. Still technically the Midlands. Yeah. To be fair, again, like I said, sport's dead now. There, since the NFL's over, it's dead to me. Oh, got nothing. No, I mean, we'll be going on a little trip as well. Girlfriend and I always go on ventures on the weekend, so that's Saturday. It's not my turn this week, so I have no idea where we're going. Other than that,
not your choice.
No. I like that. I like not knowing. It's fun. It makes it more interesting, I feel. What is even more interesting, listener, is games of the weekend. I always do this. I've got Saturday. Why not start Saturday? First day of the weekend, 2 p.m. Juventus versus Como. I think this could be interesting because Juventus have obviously come off their hiding of a 5-2 Champions League defeat to Galatasaray. They've got a bit of pressure here, a bit of pride to sort out. And I like Fabregas, what he's doing at Como.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. I mean, I know they've got a lot of money, though you've still got to do stuff with that money. And he's doing all right. So that could be an interesting one to watch. And then 5:30, you've got Leipzig versus Dortmund, 5th and 2nd. There's a lot of spice here. You know, it's more than just league position because obviously Leipzig remain deeply unpopular in Germany. And among traditional fan bases like Dortmund, they hate them even more. So, and then obviously you've got the added layer of Red Bull since they brought in former Dortmund boss Klopp. So it's going to be interesting. And then 7:30, St. Louis City versus Charlotte FC. What is it? St. Louis FC. I'm trying to think. St. Louis Rams. I don't know. Someone's going to correct me on that. Please do. Round off that Saturday night because it's the opening weekend of the new MLS season. Why not? I don't know who Seattle play. Haven't looked. Did see our home kit. It's all right. I would have changed the white coloured shoulder bits to black. I think that would have looked better. Though I do understand why they've picked white because they want it to be the emerald colour to shine through. I get it. It's a nice kit, though. It's a nice home kit. Sunday, 12 p.m, Sheffield United versus Sheffield Wednesday. Steel City derby. Form goes out the window. Tackles flying early. Tempers flare up. There may even be a fight. And then 4:30, Spurs versus Arsenal. It's the North London derby. Form goes out the window. Tackles flying early. Tempers flare. There may even be a fight. And I'll tell you one thing. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said Arsenal are going to walk this. Don't think that's going to happen. I think this could be an interesting watch for the neutral.
It's mad now, isn't it? Because it's one of them games where you can't be shocked no matter what happens. Like if Arsenal went there and won 4-0, it wouldn't surprise me. If they went there and lost, that wouldn't surprise me either. And if they drew, that also wouldn't be that much of a shock. So it's one of them where you think, really, Arsenal should go there and win this game. But new
Yeah.
manager bounce at Spurs, Arsenal collapsing as they always do.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Arsenal.
it's going to be good. It's going to be good either way.
Yeah. Arsenal just seem to, they know how to choke, which is incredible. They have never, I said this on Twitter, they have never won the Premier League title when being top at the table at Christmas. That stat, I had to double check that stat because I thought there is no way they've, that is true. They've won the title enough times that they must have been top at Christmas during that. Nope. Nope. Never been top at the table at Christmas and then won the title.
That is mad.
It's crazy. And that was including the season where they were unbeaten. I don't know who was top of the table. Why do I feel like it was us? I know we were up there because obviously under Ranieri before he was kicked out the door for Mourinho.
Yeah.
We did pretty
Do you know what? It
decent.
might well have been us.
I wouldn't be sure. Who was top of the table then? Top of the table at Christmas. Because that was that 03-04 before.
No, 02-03, wasn't it?
Was that their invincible season?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's have a look. It doesn't tell me. That's absolutely useless. It's giving me Christmas tables now. This is no good.
look.
I mean, it's lovely. I don't feel like it's useful. Who was top of the table in Arsenal 02-03? Let's have a look because we've got nothing else to do. 02-03 Christmas top of table. I think it was us. It was Arsenal. No, it can't have been. We'll get there, listener. We'll get there.
Oh, maybe your stat was wrong.
Arsenal were top of the table in 02-03 and lost it to Man United. The year that Arsenal went unbeaten, Man United were top of the table. There you go. There you go. Interesting. Interesting. So basically, what we've learned from that is Arsenal are shit. And moving on. Shevva shoutouts. We have got some quality Shevva shoutouts. We've got Heat Rave with Mata into Drogba. What about that? Quick question. If Mikey has a day off, who will host the show? That's a great question, Heat Rave. I would say that we're just cooked as a platform. I've got
Mikey has no days off.
It's not because I don't trust the other people, the other hosts. I don't. I do. Sorry, the word slipped out there. No, I do. I have all the
Boy,
equipment.
didn't slip there.
I have all the equipment. I have all the templates and everything for the editing. So
yeah, we actually wouldn't be able to do it.
No, they could record it. They just couldn't do anything else with it. So that's why it's nothing. It's nothing. I love doing this. So I keep plowing on. I don't mind. So it's fun to do the scripts. It is. I do enjoy it. And Stian, brilliantly pronounced name. Few get it that quick. Well, thank you. It's very rare someone compliments me on a pronounced name. I'm going to stick that down. I appreciate that. And yeah, you have negativity, but unlike other pods, you make the negative funny and not a drawl that keeps coming every episode. You know what? We appreciate that. It's always not because you got to balance it out, haven't you? You got to have positive, but you can't be too positive all the damn time.
Yeah, I do think the key is to try and find a balance, which is why I think when the other two do show up, it is a good balance because generally one of us is normally being negative on a certain day about something, and someone else will be positive. So
yeah,
we tend to balance it out, all right.
I really appreciate when Bob and John, Ollie and Berth. You see what I mean? Who are they? No. No, thank you, listeners, for your reviews, your thoughts, and everything you submit in the Spotify comments. If you want yours read out potentially on the show, head over to Spotify, drop a comment on the episode, and hey, you may get read out on the next one. So with that, let's hit some news. Oh, it's that time of the week. We're going to check out the news you may have missed in the elevator. Chelsea news. Nicolas Jackson is expected to return to Chelsea this summer because his lack of game time at Bayern. The idea of him staying at Chelsea has not been ruled out. Chelsea have been drawn away at Wrexham in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Chelsea women will play Arsenal in the Champions League quarterfinals. And finally, just before we were about to hit record, we had... Oh yes, the FA has put the brakes on radical proposed changes to the Women's FA Cup, such as the seeding of teams. And this is all because they've received negative feedback. What a shock. There will be no changes for next season, which is obviously huge. And this was reported by Tom of The Guardian. The consultation period has now been extended, and the FA are going to review all their options. Chris, I was quite vocal back in episode 577 about these changes to the FA Cup on the women's side. I didn't agree with it. I'd never agree with it, and I'm very happy to hear it won't be going ahead. I think the best time to axe these changes was day one, and the second best time was today. I don't know how you feel on it.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said at the time, I'm not completely against trying to change things and having different formats for competitions, especially within the women's game where the discrepancy between the top teams and the lower league teams especially is so much bigger than in the men's game. But always feels with the FA like they're always trying to rush everything. Like instead of taking their time over it and proposing an idea and going, right, what do you think about this? It's always, what do you think about this? We want to do it next year. Let's calm down a little first. Let's really think about why do we have to do it next year? It's like they want to rush everything in. And I think that's their main issue.
Yeah, that's the thing. And for me, you can't see the FA Cup in the sense of, well, we've got to keep them teams protected. That's just not the FA Cup, and you can't also set out a pathway to go. That's how you'll route to the finals. That's not the FA Cup. That's never has been the FA Cup. It is the Champions League. I understand why they do it that way, and that's the World Cup as well. That makes sense because those competitions have always sort of had that format. The FA one hasn't. Yeah, obviously that's going to be developing. They could dramatically change it again. We don't know. Hopefully not. It was a really quiet week actually, apart from till that broke an hour or so ago. What I did thought was catching my eye was Nicolas Jackson, because we haven't even done that in a while, have we?
Nicolas Jackson.
Get to bring that back. His loan move at Bayern hasn't really, it's not set the world alight. He's got 5 in 22 appearances, so breaking that down, that's 3 in 15 Bundesliga games, and we say that the Bundesliga is an easy league to score goals in. But look, this is the context here. Look, this is a striker who, across his previous 4 top flight seasons, has only once failed to hit double figures, and that was his debut year in La Liga. So this is a dip, and I think what makes it more interesting is even in what's being framed here as a disappointing loan, he's still got more goals this season than Liam Delap, which is effectively the player that we got to replace him, because that was essentially what we did. And I think this is interesting because with Rosenio in charge instead of obviously Maresca, I think the landscape has changed here, because I think the reason that a return this summer is like, oh, this is plausible. I think it is because of the fact we've got a new guy in charge. I'd welcome Jackson back. Again, what I said, he never failed to reach 10 Premier League goals for us. I mean, that is a baseline. How can you dismiss that? 10 Premier League, and you could go, 10 Premier. That's really good consistently. And under Rosinho's like the man management, man age, what I'd see an improvement. I think he could improve. I really do.
I agree. I think we'd be stupid not to bring him back and keep him in the squad. I think if you're looking at a striker who can guarantee you double figures, and that's before we've even seen him work under this manager who already has improved João Pedro to a point where he looks like one of the best strikers in the league. He's got a track record of improving the strikers at all the clubs. All the strikers he's managed so far have improved under him. So I don't know why we wouldn't keep Jackson. If Jackson's willing to stay, which I don't think he ever had a falling out with the club. I think he had a falling out with Maresca. I don't think he ever necessarily had a problem with the club. I don't think you can take into account his stats from the Bundesliga because, 15 appearances, how many of them was like 7 minutes at the end of a game when they wanted to give Harry Kane a round of applause? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really... No striker is going to go to Bayern and succeed as Harry Kane's backup, because Harry Kane plays all the time and every minute. So you're not really getting any fair chances there. And rightly so, because Harry Kane's phenomenal. Probably the best striker in the world. So it's really hard to go and be a backup to a player like that anyway. But not just his goals at Chelsea. I thought he made other players better.
Yeah. Well, he made Palmer better.
He made
We saw how
Palmer
that.
better. I think all the attackers was better. I think I think there's been a lot of games this season where you look at it and you think we needed someone like Jackson today, someone who's going to stretch the play, who can run in behind, who's good at running channels, who's good at linking up with those little sort of flick touches to start an attack. I think he was criminally underrated, Nicolas Jackson. I think people focused far too much on him missing chances that they didn't see the bigger picture of all the positive stuff that he was doing.
I think, ironically, considering what we're doing in the main segment about underrated, overrated, fairly rated sort of thing, he is underrated because I saw real mixture online of we welcome him back, and there was a lot of criticism for he misses all these chances. It's like, yeah, but a lot of our strikers miss a load of chances. He scored more than he missed, and the only issue I had, the only genuine issue of his time at Chelsea was the discipline. Because there was the 2 red cards he picked up that were just really, really immature stupidity.
Stupid.
And look, at the end of the day, he is 24. I know that's not young, so to speak. He's clearly going to mature. I think under Rossini, I think that, again, we said about Maresca, that riled up, ready to fight. Rossini hasn't got that. He's got that about him, but he's not got it in that aggressive tone. I think he'd be a great manager for this player. I really do. And there is obviously someone's going to bring it up. Yes, there is the recall from Lone Saga that happened. Again, different manager, different dynamic. And I think if there's someone capable of reintegrating any player whatsoever, I think, and getting the best out of him, I think it's Rossini. He's shown it. He's shown the João Pedro. He's like, okay, look, I'm going to turn João Pedro into a proper striker. I think bringing him back makes perfect sense. Give him a chance. You have to. I mean, like I said, 10 Premier League goals for us, minimum. He's done. To just cast him outside and go, now we're selling you, I think that'd be absolutely ignorant. Absolutely.
And plus, I think we'd get more money if we sold Liam Delap than you get for Nicolas Jackson.
Yeah, because you have that. It's stupid
because he has the English tax.
Yeah, it's so stupid how that works. We know why it works. It's because having homegrown players in your squad.
It's a homegrown quota. It bumps
that's how
price up.
James Maddison costs so much money. And you think when you looked in that summer of similar style of player or midfielder or whatever that was sold, and you go, why did Maddison cost more? Well, does he count as homegrown? Yes. That's why Man City was so desperate to get Bettinelli. Because it's another homegrown player. That's just the way of the world. Let us know, listeners, what you think about a return for Nicolas Jackson. So we just teased it there. We've got today's episode. It's a bit about perception versus reality. Look, we're going to go through the current Chelsea squad and place every player into one of 3 categories. So there's overrated, underrated, or fairly rated. This isn't really about who we like. It isn't about the long-term potential. It isn't even a reaction to one good or bad performance. This is sort of where we feel each player stands right now in the eyes of maybe the fan base as well as the media and maybe within our own expectations. It's very out there. We're not really going to nail it down to a particular one, just compared to obviously what their actual level is and what their actual output is. So maybe certain players are being overpraised based on their reputation. Maybe others are taking unfair criticism that outweighs their actual performance. Let's see where we land. Interestingly, Ollie did invent this, and he's not here, of course he is, but he did send me his listing, so that's really appreciated.
He's here in spirit.
He is. We will go position by position. It's so much easier to do that. We're not doing hot takes for the sake of it, just our honest evaluation. So we've got goalkeepers, which we naturally just chose 2 of them because there's no point going any further. We kick off with Robert Sanchez. Now, I went underrated because I still think... right, so I look at the general spectrum. I think he's one of our players of the season, and I don't hear pundits mention him enough. The thing I don't hear pundits mention is him among the top 3 keepers in the league right now. Because he has consistency, he has shot stopping, his presence has been vital, and he deserves more respect. I can bring this up. I'm always hearing David Raya as one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. Well, last night, he showed exactly errors. He showed rash. Yeah. Sanchez hasn't done that. And yet, I'm never hearing him praised. That's why I picked underrated, because I don't think he's rated fairly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that take.
That's what I've got justification. I'm not just throwing it out there.
No, I think, yeah, you probably are right. I'd have him probably at the moment as fairly rated.
Mm.
Um, I think the Chelsea fans on the whole now have turned to a point where we accept that he's good enough for now, for what we want to do, and his improvement has obviously been massive. And you're not worried about him being in the team anymore.
Mm.
I think I think opposing fans still have a perception that he's going to make a fuck up at some point. And I think pundits probably do as well. But I think it probably balances out between, people who know about football and people who don't. And I'd say he's
Mm.
probably fairly rated at the moment because I think people have accepted that he is a good goalkeeper now. There is still question marks as to whether he's a great goalkeeper or could be one.
Okay. Ollie's agreed with me. He's gone underrated. Most of the league still think he's garbage. That's what I mean. David Raya gets praised every damn week, every
Yeah.
week, and he's made more mess ups
Well,
lately
he's
than.
overrated, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Oh yeah.
David Raya.
Yeah.
I think he's massively overrated. He's a good
Yeah.
goalkeeper, but people keep throwing gold like, oh, he's won 2 Golden Gloves in a row. Great. Have you seen the standard of the goalkeepers in the Premier League? Of course, yes.
Yeah. uh, right. We go to Philip Jorgensen. Ollie went fairly rated. Nobody rates him anymore. I I put fairly rated as well because I put that he struggled. He struggled under Maresca because that's a small sample size, I know. But before the injury, he did an okay job under Arsenio. He did okay. At this stage, though, I think the general perception of him is about right. He's not overhyped. He's not unfairly criticised because he has been poor. Here comes another redemption arc at Chelsea. Let's hope. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, fairly rated. I think nobody really talks about him in good or bad terms, which is, I think, what he is. He's a number 2.
Yeah. Moving on to defenders, Mark Cucurella. I went fairly rated, world class. People do recognise that. The redemption arc I've just said about one for Jorgensen. Well, this one's complete. The rating always matches his level. Ollie even said fairly rated as one of the best left backs in the world.
I'd have him as underrated.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I'd have him as underrated is because I think Chelsea fans rate him as one of the best left backs in the world. I don't think other people do. I think
I like that.
other people still let this thing where they don't like him cloud their judgment on how good he is. Like people talk about Calafiori being the best left back in the league. Having a laugh at you.
That's bad. I know. We
Like
can't have that.
he's not even close to Kukureya's level.
No.
Not if they're not even playing the same game. That's how far apart that gap is. Calafiori is a good player. But Kukureya is on a different level. For me, Kukureya is only in the conversation with one other left back for who's the best in the world, and I don't think anyone else gets anywhere near the conversation. So, for the fact that I see some people putting other players in a Premier League team of the season over Kukureya, I think is crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Calafiori in like a best. You got to look at it. Would you ever include them in a World 11? Cucurella, yes, I can understand the argument for him versus Nuno Mendes. I'm going to prefer Cucurella, but that's got a little Chelsea bias to it with me. So that's not the debate. Would I put Calafiori ahead of either of those? No, I wouldn't. And I like
No, you
Calafiori, but
wouldn't.
no, what a no, we can't be doing that. Tosin. I went with fairly rated because I think he's been a liability at times. People have called that out appropriately. I don't think he's unfairly criticised, nor do I think he's protected from criticism. I think it's balanced. Ollie felt underrated because he thinks he's shit, but he's not apocalyptically shit like most think and has his use in the squad. Ollie sort of talked me around there. What about you?
I agree with Ollie 100%. I think he is underrated. Listen, I don't think Tosin's brilliant. I think he's bang average. And should he be at a club like Chelsea? By our name, no. By our current status, I don't think it's wildly unfair.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Tosin now is I think people find fault to back up their opinion of him now. So they'll watch him play and they're trying to find faults in something that he's done rather than just watching and then judging it based on whether they actually noticed him make a mistake or not. And I think sometimes like a goal will go in and then you'll see the reaction online like, oh, it's because Tosin's in the team. And then you watch the goal and you think, well, he was nowhere near it. Like it literally had nothing to do with him at all. But they assume that if Tosin's playing and we concede, he must have been at fault somewhere. So I think he's underrated.
Yeah, you know what? You've both made good arguments there where I feel like I should tweak mine to underrated there because I could totally agree with where you're coming from. Benoit Badiashile, I went fairly rated because I think he's the definition of inconsistent. He's sometimes actually all right. Sometimes he's absolutely concerning. I think the fan perception is almost reflective of that. Ollie decided underrated, treated like a bum, but his ability is much better than on his day. His consistency though is just awful. That's the point where I'm like, it's that consistency for me.
Yeah, I think fairly rated. Because I don't think he's got to the Tosin level yet where people are criticising him just for him being on the pitch. I just think there's a general consensus of worry when he plays because if you get the good Badiashile, we'll be fine. But if you get the bad one, then we are in trouble today. And I think that's the issue with Badiashile. And I do think that's fair because he is one of those players where he's either an 8 out of 10 or you're trying to scramble to give him a rating at all.
Yeah. I think we've got now Levi Colwill. Now I think this is my first hot take of the day. I've got overrated. He's a top player. He's absolutely a top player. But since his injury, the conversation has escalated to this world top 3 centre-back level. And some of the takes online, I honestly, close your eyes, he's Maldini. He is good. He's not that good yet. The injury has somehow made him completely overrated. I don't understand it.
I agree with you 100%.
It's wild. What?
I think Colwell now might be our most overrated player.
Yeah.
His best games for Chelsea have been the ones that he ain't played.
They
have made everyone give this perception that he's the second coming of John Terry. And it's like, all I hear is, imagine where we'd be if we had Colwell this season. We'd be in the same place as we are now because we was in this place with him. We ain't changed. We're doing the same thing. The team looks exactly the same whether he's there or not. Like he's a good defender. Is he one of our best defenders? Yes. I think that says more about our defenders though than about the level of Colwell. I think they're all very similar, our centre backs. They're either really good or really shit. And then I think with the likes of Chalobah and Colwell and maybe Fofana, the only thing they have is they are slightly more consistent. So they'll have 7 good games and 3 shit ones rather than 5 and 5. I think that's the only difference. But I honestly think if you put in an actual top class centre back next to Colwell, I think people would go, he's all right, Colwell. He's a bit average though, because compared to him, he isn't very good. But you are right. People talk about him like we're missing Thiago Silva.
Yeah, Ollie's agreed. I'm glad we're all in agreement. He's put overrated since the injury. He's become the saviour when we don't even know if he's going to be the same when he comes back. That's a lot of pressure on him. Yeah, fully agree. Mamadou Sarr, I've got underrated. Just AFCON winner with Senegal. Kept Salah and Diaz quite quiet in that tournament. And it's the general consensus online is that he's just an average signing we got from Strasbourg. I think he's going to surprise. Again, a small sample size against Hull. But the way some people have acted about him, it's like we've seen nothing at all yet to even consider that he's an average player. I think I'm excited for this lad. I am.
I agree with you. I think underrated. And I don't think underrated because I think he's top class or he's going to go on and be world class. I think he's underrated because we didn't pay 70 million quid for him.
Good point.
Because I think if you look at it, if we'd signed old Jeremy Jacquet, if he'd come in for 65 million quid, everyone would have been going, he's top class prospect. He's going to be world class. Because Sarr just come back from loan, everyone's gone, he's probably shit. Well, no, he's better than the player we was going to pay 65 million quid for.
Yeah.
Just as it's, I'm not saying who's got the better ceiling. Jacquet might go on and turn into the next Van Dijk, and everyone will go, "Oh, we really missed out on him." He might turn into the next Joe Gomez, and everyone goes, "Fucking hell, we dodged a bullet there."
Remember him?
You know what I mean? So it's like that could go either way. What I'm saying is that as we stand today, Mamadou Sarr has had more success and been a better defender than Jacquet has.
Yeah, totally fair. Ollie has agreed, underrated, good signing, but Strasbourg links and price will make people assume he's crap when he's good. Spot on. Jarell Hatto, I went underrated because his poor performance under Eska, I feel those poor performances have been so exaggerated, and I have to judge it right now. And under Arsenio, he's actually been solid. There's certainly more positives than negatives, and Cucurella is now injured. He's got a run in this side that could shift perception back towards where it should be. I mean, he was captain of Ajax. You don't get that just because sympathy. You've got to have something about you.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been underrated anyway, because I think even his bad games, they weren't that bad. Like even under Maresca, he wasn't shining, but he wasn't like horrendous. And I think people tend to forget that he's like 19. 19, first season, new country, lot of pressure, backup for someone who he's not anywhere near Cucurella's level. So when Cucurella comes out and he comes in, there's going to be a drop in level because he's not as good. And that's not his fault. He's not as good. Like he could be as good as Cucurella when he's Cucurella's age, but he's not. Cucurella's like, what, 7 years older than him, something like that. So he's got time. Let's just calm down a little bit. I think people tended to forget that he is only young because he doesn't look 19, does he, to be fair? He looks about 24, 25. But I think people, again, just went a little bit over the top because they was like, oh, when Cucurella's out and Hato plays, look how much worse we are. Well, obviously, that's why he's the backup. If your backup was as good as your starter, like we'd be winning. Well, you should win the league then.
Yeah, they don't. Funnily enough, they don't stay your backup for long. They move on to another club because they should be playing week in, week out.
Yeah, exactly.
I moved to Trevor Chalobah. I've got underrated because this word is invented for him. I don't think he's ever been fairly rated by anyone ever. Even now, I see people wanting to happily sell him, and he's turned around the minds of is it 3 or 4 managers now? Like, oh, we'll get rid of him, and
Yeah,
he's still.
I think it's 4.
Back in the team, mate. Back in it again. And Ollie said the same. Underrated, easiest one on the list, to be honest. Not appreciated by anyone outside of Chelsea, but without him this season, we'd be in the bin.
I've got underrated.
Yes.
I think Chalobah might be one of the most underrated players in the league.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that I think he's top class. But I think Chalobah's as good as Mark Guehi.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, I can see it.
I think if Chalobah was at Crystal Palace, he would do the same thing and everyone would want us to spend 60, 70 million quid on him. But because we've got him, everyone goes, yeah, I don't think he's that good. Because like football fans always want what they haven't got. And I think the reality is he's never spoke about being called up to the England squad, even though England centre-backs are fucking diabolical, by the way, going into this World Cup. Our choices at centre-back are shit. And he's never spoke about even being considered for going to the World Cup. But he's having as good a season as Guehi is. People do forget with Mark Guehi, he was in the Crystal Palace team that was like 13th in the league.
That is true.
And he's gone to Man City, and I don't think he's pulled up trees at City, to be honest. I haven't seen Guehi walk into Man City and automatically think, fucking hell, they look so much better with him. They look the same. I don't think he's elevated them. I think he just looks, he's a good defender and he's gone to a good team. But I think they could have took Chalobah from us, and I think it would have been the same.
We moved to Reece James. I've gone underrated because when he's fit, he's elite. Whether at right back or obviously inverted, he's great in both. Outside of the Chelsea circle, I don't hear his name get mentioned among the best players. I think that lack of wider recognition makes him underrated for that alone.
I've gone fairly rated because I think the general consensus amongst football fans, except for Arsenal fans, is that Reece James is the best right back in the league. Whenever I see people doing best teams, best player by position, Reece James is always ranked first, unless it's an Arsenal fan who wants to put Julian Timber in there because he's had 7 good games this season. I think the general consensus amongst fans is that he's the best right back in the league, and that is the correct consensus to have, which I think makes him fairly rated.
That's fair. Ollie's fairly rated him as well. Everyone knows how good he is, and we're finally past the injuries. So yeah, I think I just don't hear pundits talk about him. That's kind of why I went with that. Malo Gusto, I've gone fairly rated because solid, dependable, does his job when he's not played in a number 10 role. The general perception of him, I feel, matches what he offers. Could be so much more, though.
I've got underrated.
So's Ollie.
I think mainly by our own fan base. I actually think most rival fans actually rate Gusto, and I think most pundits, whenever I've heard them talking about Gusto, have rated him as well. I think our own fans underrate him because they are still judging him on games he had in like October. Like he had a shit game against Burnley, and everyone's gone, "My shit then." And then you go, "Well, he was good today, Gusto," and they're like, "Well, yeah, but he was shit against Burnley." It's like, mate, it's in October. What are you on about? What are you still talking about that for? Like, judging by what he's doing now, yeah. If you ask him to play as a number 10, he's shit. But if you ask Harry Kane to go in goal, he's probably going to be shit. But I don't think it's fair to call him shit then, because it's not. That's not what he's there for, is it?
No,
like,
you're right.
Such a stupid argument. You put a right back in midfield, he's going to be shit. Okay.
Yeah.
But is he a good right back? Yeah. And I think people do forget how good he was under Pochettino. Like, honestly.
You're right.
To a point, he was so good under Poch that I actually think we got to a point where we didn't miss Reece James. That is the level he got to. I just think he needs a manager who lets him be an overlapping fullback.
Yeah, it's a bit like, you could put me on TalkSport and I'd be shit. Some would disagree. Yeah. But it's true.
It's difficult. Can you do live radio? TalkSport.
It is difficult. It's difficult. I have been on TalkSport once, long time ago. Look, before the pod, that was Wesley Fofana. I went fairly rated because he is capable of brilliance one week, and then disaster the next. I think we're realistic about it. I think we're hopeful now, but we're a little bit cautious. We've been stung here before. I think that's fair.
I've got overrated.
Wow. Same as Ollie has as well. So
I think our fans still say that he's our best centre back. I just don't think he is. I think if you rate Fofana over Chalobah, then you are just rating on reputation alone because you're not watching. Because Fofana hasn't outperformed Chalobah in any game, I don't think, that they've played together. And he can't play 2 games a week. I think everyone's still like, oh, he's got so much potential. He must be about 24 by now.
Google, help me out. He is 25.
He's 25. You can't talk about potential anymore. He's not going to get any better. He is what he is now. That's it. He is what he is. And he's a good defender. Again, he's one of them where, would I keep him? Yes. Would I be absolutely devastated if it came up on Sky Sports that we'd sold him? No.
Yeah, fair point. Ollie went overrated. Most overrated player in the squad, maybe. He's lucky that he's not absolutely terrible because I don't think any club would put up with him if he was. Diva, error prone, injury prone, and drives like a dick. yeah. Fair point. Joshua Champong. I'm sorry, I think I've gone a bit harsh again. I've got overrated because he does perform well when he plays. I just think he needs a loan for rhythm and some consistency because we've got hype around him. And I think it outweighs where he is in his development right now. He does have huge potential. It isn't there yet. And he can't start every game like some call for it. He needs that loan to be consistent.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you. Ollie disagrees with us.
No, I think he's slightly overrated. Again, I think it's the whole potential thing. People thinking that he's come from the academy. We really want him to do well, but the reality is, outside of a couple of games, he's never really pulled up that many trees in the performances in the games that he has played. I think just for us to truly know how good he could be, I do think he's got to go out on, well, one of two things got to happen. Either he's got to go out on loan somewhere, and prove that he can play consistently week in, week out and perform, or he has to be given a run of games, and you just have to eventually put your trust in him and say, right, there you go, next 10 games, you're in. Regardless of how you play, next 10 games, you're starting all 10. And then you see where you are at the end of that. I think eventually with young players, you either have to put your faith in them or you send them somewhere else to see if they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ollie said fairly rated. Very tempting to go one way or the other, but he's done well and made mistakes, which is exactly what you'd expect from an academy player breaking through. Well, we'll move to midfielders. And I generally, I've got obviously Mikhailo Mudryk. I've got not rated because I haven't seen him since his ban. I can't assess a man who I haven't seen.
No, we can't. I don't. No, I don't think he should have been included in this.
No, Ollie has gone underrated. Can you even rate someone who isn't allowed to play? Was getting better and better before his ban, and I'd take him over what we have at left wing now. Much better than the footballing world gives him credit for. Big fee plus Chelsea plus scandal equals an all-you-can-eat buffet for rival fans and media. How bad is that we would take Mudryk, who hasn't played football in over a year, over players that have consistently been playing football and training at the club? Oh my God, what a state we're in. Oh my word, what a state. Enzo Fernandez. Ollie and I have agreed, fairly rated. Look, he's a world-class player. He's finally recognised. Many who doubted him have come around to it. And I think the praise now matches the performance level.
This is going to shock you.
Oh God, where are you going? I don't know where you're going.
I think he's underrated.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Wow.
Funnily enough, what's really weird is, what was it, 12, 18 months ago when I didn't rate Enzo Fernandez and was accused of having an agenda against him and all this when he wasn't performing. And everyone just loved bringing up, clips of 160-yard pass that he played. I think he was massively overrated by our fan base. I actually see some of our fans now that he is actually performing week in, week out, saying, oh yeah, but he doesn't offer us enough defensively. He's not good in transition. He's never been that. So why did you rate him 2 years ago? He's doing more now. He's still got the weaknesses in his game, Enzo Fernandez, but he's doing more positive things than negative things on the pitch for us now than he was 2 years ago. So I don't understand why all of a sudden our own fans don't seem to rate him. Like, I'm on about a small minority of our fans, but I also don't think he's rated amongst the Premier League. I hear so many pundits and podcasts and things talking about, best midfielders in the league this season, and they're bringing up people like Martin Zubimendi at Arsenal, and it's like, fuck are you talking about? Zubimendi? No, I haven't seen a single person mention Enzo Fernandez, but he's got 8 goals in the Premier League from centre midfield. That's really good.
Yeah.
Plus, however many assists he's got, I think he's got 4, something like that. So, what's that? 12 goal involvements from centre midfield? That's good. By today's standards, that is actually really good. And I just don't think he gets the credit that he deserves at the minute.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I'm actually just going to check how many he's got because I feel, in the Premier League, he's got 10 goal involvements in 25 this season.
Which is not bad at all.
Overall, 19 in 46.
That's really good, isn't it?
And remember, we're not playing in the Conference League where you can stat pad and go, hey, look at all the goals I've scored.
Yeah, he's playing the Champions League.
Exactly. And Ollie said fairly rated. I think he still needs to go up a level to be underrated, as his improvement has been quite well documented within June fan bases. Interesting how some players seem to get the grace and time whilst others don't. Cole Palmer, he is a midfielder. I've got fairly rated because when he's fit, he impacts the game. His drop-off has largely been injury-related. I think I've said it before on shows. We have to be a bit reasonable about this. Let's not overcorrect and go, oh, he's overrated. No, he's fairly rated. Injury, fairly rated.
Perfect segue.
Oh,
I think he's overrated now.
we've all disagreed here because Ollie went underrated.
I think he's overrated because he's another one who's being judged by what he can do rather than by what he is doing. Cole Palmer's still a phenomenal footballer.
Yeah.
But he's not doing it on the pitch. So you can be as good as you like, but if you're not doing it in games, it doesn't matter. I think people still talk about him like he's the Cole Palmer from 2 years ago, and he's not. And he hasn't been for a long time. And until he gets back to those levels, I don't think you can rate him as highly as you did back then. Because back then he was doing it when it mattered on the pitch. There's no point keep talking about how good Cole Palmer could be. Yeah, great. He could be. He could be a Ballon d'Or winner. He's literally that good. But he ain't going to win the Ballon d'Or playing like he is right now.
Ollie went underrated because he thinks Palmer was overrated before, but critique against him, I think, has been so harsh that it's swung it the other way, and now he's underrated. Best player in the league when he's playing uninjured and on a consistent basis, but his form has cost him, and the fall is always further the higher you climb, which is why the reaction is so extreme. Wow, that is a good line, that is.
Yeah, that is good. That's very
jealous. Good. That is good. I love that. That is brilliant. We move to who's the next player up on my list? It is Dario Asugo, who I've got not rated because I can't judge what I haven't seen. I can't. I haven't seen anything. Has he played at all this season? I don't know. Has he?
I think a lot of people have forgot that he exists, so it's difficult to rate him because I don't think he's It was definitely not overrated. He can't be underrated.
No, he's not played in the Premier League. He's only played in the Club World Cup.
You'd have to say fairly rated because no one knows anything about him.
I was panicking then. I thought, I'm sure he hasn't played a game.
So,
yeah. Oh, well, Ollie said he's fairly rated. He's barely kicked a ball for us, so not sure how he can be rated one way or the other. Seems decent. Needs more minutes when fit. Maybe a loan. Andre Santos. Chris, as you said, £100 million potential, and that is why he's underrated for me. Outside of Chelsea circles, I don't hear him discussed. And that's ceiling. I know I shouldn't say about potential because that's not the point of this little seg, but it's enormous. It's enormous. Ollie said underrated because he's shocked with how good he's been, considering how much he wasn't used by Maresca. Quality player, not seeing the best of him yet, will only get better.
Yeah, I think he's underrated as well. I think people have forgot how excited we were before he came to us after we'd signed him, and the whole what he was doing with the Brazil national team at that tournament, and then what you was hearing about when he went on loan to Strasbourg, and I think the excitement kind of waned off by the time he got here, and so I think people now just see him as like, well, yeah, someone we signed a few years ago, and now he's here. I think he's been phenomenal since he's been starting games regularly, and I think come the end of the season, I think everyone will be talking about how good he is.
Moises Caicedo, fairly rated, easiest, world class. Narrative has shifted obviously over the seasons. He's one of the best in his role. Not much more to say. Ollie said finally fairly rated by the league. That's taken a few years to finally get there. Perhaps arguably still a bit underrated as certain fan bases can't bring themselves to even entertain the debate that he's one of the best in the world. Oh, what about yourself?
Yeah, fairly rated by everyone except Arsenal and Liverpool fans.
Correct.
Liverpool fans still make an argument that Gravenberch is better after Gravenberch had one good season and this season has disappeared off the face of the earth. And Arsenal fans won't even entertain an argument that he's better than Declan Rice.
Yeah.
So
easy,
everyone else though, pundits and other people who actually understand football, I think he's fairly rated. I think everyone accepts that he's one of the best midfielders in the league, if not the world.
I end with Romeo Lavia. Now, this is ironic considering what I said about Asugo. I've got underrated. I know he's injury prone. I do. But when he plays, he's top class. I've seen it live, and that's still burnt into. If he's not played another game for another year, I'll still have that Wolves game burnt into my memory. His availability issues have masked how good he actually is. That's why if I hadn't gone to that Wolves game, I don't know if I'd have rated him. That Wolves game was enough for me. It really was. Find someone in your life who believes in you, like I believe in Lavia.
I've got overrated.
I understand. I do.
I think again, he's another one where everyone goes, "Oh, imagine how much better we'd be if Lavia played. Imagine how good we're going to be when Lavia comes back." Well, you're only saying that because you ain't seen him. For all we know, he could have been a massive flop. You know what I mean? It's the only reason why he isn't considered a flop is because he ain't played. So it's hard to flop when you don't play. I think he's a really good player, and I do think in the fleeting appearances he has had for us, he has played well. But I don't think it's that hard to have one good game per year when that is the only game that you play.
Yeah, Ollie said overrated, good when he plays, but never plays, so he's never good. Has gotten a lot of good grace with his injuries, and with all injured players, he's the saviour as well. The only thing he's saving at the moment is money he spent on tickets for his mates to watch him play. Bloody hell, man. Brutal. Attackers, we rounded off. I've got Pedro Neto. I've got underrated because I say it because he runs, he tracks back, he crosses relentlessly, even though there's no one there. He does play wherever he's asked. Cam, striker, wide. He does have off days. That workload and versatility he does provide are so undervalued, especially when I look at other players in our squad that don't put the effort in. Just saying. I understand if you disagree. I do.
I do.
Yeah, it's fair. Disagree. I get it. It's fine. It's okay.
Overrated for me, massively.
Fine.
Do you know what rubber stamped this for me about him being overrated?
Go on.
Was the whole game. Okay. And then the commentators talking about how important he is to this Chelsea team and how he must be one of the first names on the team sheet. I thought, are you taking the fucking piss? No Chelsea fan wants him on the team sheet. No Chelsea fan wants him on the team bus, let alone on the team sheet. But he is massively over. I think Pedro Neto's been overrated his entire career.
Wow.
I think he had. You watched him at Wolves, and everyone's like, "Oh, he was absolutely brilliant against Man City." Yeah, because he's top class. He's one of the best wingers in the league. The only game you watched him in was the one against Man City. That's why. You don't watch Wolves games other than that. You know, the week before against Bournemouth, he was fucking shit. You know what I mean? I think he's one of them where you give him space in behind, he'll hurt you. As most teams, though, don't give top team space in behind. He's useless. I think he's a bang average Premier League winger who, if we sold within 4 months, you'd have forgot that he ever played for us.
That's fair. Ollie went with fairly rated. He is what he is, just like Werner. Massively overrated outside of Chelsea. First name on the team sheet, bollocks, is nauseating, but also massively underrated by the fan base who think he's abysmal, so it balances it out. Well, this is interesting because we now move to Liam Delap. And that's convenient because remember the source here, Mark Bruce from Court Offside. So, remember the source, has got Liam Delap is expected to leave Chelsea this summer after a difficult debut season. Interest remains strong despite his struggles with Man United, Newcastle, Everton, Sunderland and Brighton interested. What an interesting choice of clubs that is.
Every single club on that list, bar Man United, are exactly the level Liam Delap should have gone to from Ipswich.
Yeah, I can see. But someone said Everton. Who said Everton? It was on the last show. Someone said Everton. Well, look at you. You might have got it right. You might have scored it perfectly.
Oh, mate, he's got Everton writ all over him.
Yeah.
Likes a fight. Likes getting sent off. Will rough up the centre halves. Won't score many goals. That's Everton all over.
Well, I went fairly rated because right now he's not a top Premier League striker. Most of us recognise that. got nothing else to add. Ollie said overrated outside England shouts. The only way he's going to the US in the summer is if he goes on a Jet 2 holiday. No chance, in my opinion. Oh, steamy.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think again overrated. I think if he wasn't English, I don't think anyone would be talking about him at all. And if he wasn't English, we wouldn't have signed him. He's living off his nationality. I think his season at Ipswich was massively blown out of proportion and massively overrated. To score 12 goals for Ipswich, everyone was acting like he'd scored 30, and it was like he scored 12. Like there was penalties involved there as well. I think he scored like 9 from open play. Not that good. It's all right. Oh, Ipswich got relegated. What? So they were still in the league. He still played games. I don't understand what that's got to do with anything. He's still going to make chances to score. Like Ipswich, they're not that bad that they didn't make any chances to score goals. They didn't go down with like 3 points. They were still in the league. They still competed in games.
Well, what's mad? This is mad. According to the Premier League status, homegrown, these are our homegrown players. Teddy Sharman-Lowe, Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Liam Delap, Colwill, Tosin and Sanchez. I know how it works, but it's just so surreal to see Sanchez, João Pedro on that list.
João Pedro's a
what?
weird one.
It's because of the academies and how they...
Yeah, I didn't realise he came over here at that young age. So.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? Yeah, Jamie Gittens, who Ollie has got overrated. I think he's crap, but he might be so bad that people still overrate him generally versus his actual ability, which does not appear to exist. I've got fairly rated because he's just so up and down. Yeah, that's just how people view him. You know, no exaggerated hype, no excessive criticism. Windscreen wiper sort of thing. You're like, I don't know where you feel.
He's a hard one, Gittins, because I think before we signed him, he was massively overrated. He'd had like 11 good games at Dortmund and everyone lost their mind because what nationality is he?
Yep.
English again.
It's different, but Mykhailo Mudryk had a few good Champions League games for Shakhtar Donetsk, and suddenly it was like, this guy, world class. And you're like, well, hang on a minute.
It's the World Cup thing, isn't it? You know, when someone has a good tournament and everyone loses their mind. James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But now I don't think anyone rates Jamie Gittins at all. So he's probably fairly rated, to be fair, because I think everyone has accepted that, fuck me, that's a waste of 60 million quid.
Yeah. João Pedro, fairly rated because he's been excellent under Rosenio and he's praised for it. Oh my word, he's actually praised. It's lovely. And Ollie said fairly rated. Might be controversial with recent form, but don't think he's underrated. People know he's a decent forward, but he struggles with his consistency. Does need to do it for longer to enter underrated territory for me.
Underrated. And I'll tell you exactly why he's underrated. Ollie's spot on. He does lack consistency and he will have to continue like this for a few more games, and that for sure. I'll tell you why he's underrated though. Because people, when talking about the best strikers in the league, in the Premier League, current strikers in the Premier League, keep bringing up how good Hugo Ekitike has been and how he's one of the best strikers in the league. He has 10 goals in the Premier League this season and 2 assists, Ekitike. João Pedro has 10 goals and 4 assists, and not a single person has mentioned him at all as even being considered as one of the best strikers in the league, even though he's doing exactly the same as what Ekitike is doing. Actually, he's doing more and better. So I don't understand why he isn't in the conversation as being one of the best strikers in the league. The standard of the Premier League strikers, by the way, is in the bin. Like, you know, Igor Thiago is talked about like he's the second best striker in the league. Well, that tells you everything about the Premier League then, because he's bang average as well. So, but the fact that João Pedro doesn't get a mention in that list, I think is criminal, and I think it shows that he's underrated because he plays for Chelsea.
I think this when someone was randomly, when they were talking about, do you ever play an old copy of FIFA? And you get so many great legends of the game. And I think that is actually such a good point for modern, maybe there isn't any of those legends in the Premier League right now. And that, I know someone's going to say, oh, you're old. You're talking nostalgia. Come on, Unk. but it's true. How many players in this Premier League right now, in 10 years' time, will you look back as legends of that league? I don't think
So
there is as
funny.
many as there was 10 years. I really don't think so. Salah, totally understandable. Van Dijk, I totally understand. You can't just knock those. They're Liverpool, but it's still, you look elsewhere and you go, yeah, it's not that many actually. So,
Well, you are right, because look at it this way. If you was to go back and play FIFA 2015, you'd be spoilt for choice with the amount of players you'd want to sign in the Premier League. You know, that
yeah.
Man City team, that Chelsea team, some players at Arsenal, Liverpool players. You'd think, fucking hell, there's so many players here who you'd want to use and who you'd want to sign. In 10 years' time, you'll go back and you'll look at FC 26 and you'll look at it and think, there's 3 or 4 I might take. The rest of them are like,
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, but
No.
no current Premier League team,
Hmm.
no team currently in the Premier League beats any of the top teams from the Premier League 10 years ago.
Yeah, I can see that argument. Because I'm
If
just
you put
thinking,
Chelsea in
yeah,
2015 up against this Arsenal team, who are top of the league by 5 points, you put Chelsea 2015 up against them, we absolutely smashed them.
oh yeah, because we've got the best, but we've got Cesc, we've got Costa, we've got bloody Courtois in goal.
Hazard.
Yeah, you cook. Amazing. Mark, I meant underrated because he always fights, he always presses, he gives everything. He does, and his work rate just goes unnoticed. I think people undervalue what he brings. This is what I mean. His name's not Liam Delap, but it's sort of like that. Everyone doesn't pay him any attention. But, it's Mark Yu. Yeah, Mark Yu. But Mark Yu's actually really decent. He does need a loan. I know that.
I've also got him as underrated, and I've got him as underrated because I think he's a better striker than Liam Delap. But nobody talks about him because he cost 5 million quid from Barcelona.
That's what I was
so
thinking.
Everyone's like,
It's the money.
it must be shit. If you put Mark Yu as the starting striker with no competition for his place at a club like Burnley now, I would back it. I would back it and give him penalties at Burnley. I would back him to score as many goals as Liam Delap did at Ipswich, and then everyone would be losing their fucking mind over him. The only thing that Mark Yu hasn't done is he hasn't done that to give a perception that he's really good. If you watch actually how he's performed for Chelsea, though, he's outperformed Liam Delap tenfold.
Yeah. Ollie said the same, underrated. Can't be worse than Delap and has done no worse with his chances, really. Deserves more game time. Esteval, final 2. Penultimate one is Esteval. Fairly rated. I think he's a top-class talent. He's widely acknowledged as a future top-class talent with still class right now. I think that's justified. Ollie said underrated, though. I'll go into it in a minute, but what do you think?
I think he's borderline. I think he's fairly rated, but if we was doing it on like a sliding scale, I think he's fairly rated, right on the cusp of potentially becoming overrated.
That is definitely okay. Wow.
I think he's been brilliant. You know how much I like Esteban.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I don't like it when people are spoke about in terms of potentially being, the best right winger in the league. Would you put him in a Premier League best 11 currently? I don't like it when people are spoke about in those terms when they haven't done it yet. I think he's got the potential to be that for sure, but he hasn't done it yet. And I think people do need to calm down a little bit because it's just having that being cautious between over as soon as a player has 2 or 3 good games, if you build them up to be to give them expectations that they can't match, you're always going to think that they've fallen short, but they haven't. You've just raised the bar too high. I think let's just see a natural progression. I think he's had a brilliant first season so far, but let's just calm the hype down a little. I would prefer to calm the hype down a little.
Yeah, Ollie said underrated. Sounds absolutely mental, but almost the opposite of Gittins. Everyone knows he's really good, but I don't think everyone gets just how good he might be next season. If he goes up a level, it's going to be scary for this league. I think people think of him as a good wonder kid still when he's played a lot of minutes for us this season and basically become a first team star almost immediately. He's only going to get better. We end with Aliano Garnacho. Now, look, Ollie and I are in agreement. Underrated. Absolute. This guy, the talent, this guy. No, of course not. I've gone fairly rated. So is Ollie. I'm not going to knock him too much. He's talented, but he's so divisive. And I think the criticisms and the doubts surrounding the signing are understandable. I think the perception aligns with that reality. He's another name that's rumored to be on the list for the summer to be sold. I wouldn't be shocked. He screams Atletico Madrid, and Ollie said fairly rated. So most people assume he's crap when he isn't. So you might be tempted to say underrated, but his positive aspects are so overblown by his supporters that it balances out to fair rated. He has his moments for better or worse, just like a lot of other players in the squad, but he's probably the player where positives and negatives are both highlighted the most by different sides of this opinion.
I've got overrated.
Fair enough. I'm not going to argue whatever anyone picked, to be honest.
Do you know why I think he's overrated?
No.
Because people still talk about, he's still got so much potential. He could still develop and be so good. And I still want to back him because I just think there is a player in there. Do you know he's played nearly 200 games in the Premier League?
Wow. Didn't know that.
So
no way.
So what are we waiting for?
What? That's mad.
No, I think that might be overall professional because he played like 140 odd times for Man United and he's made like 30-ish appearances for us.
Yeah, sorry, you had me scared then. He's played 109 Premier League games.
So still over 100 Premier League games.
In total, in his career, he has played. These totals are awful. Performance by competition, 227. Yeah.
So he's played 227.
That's a lot of games. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't care how old you are, because some people won't hit those stats until 23, 24. So I don't care how old you are. He is not a young player. He is an experienced player. He is what he is. And people who still constantly live in this stupid hope that he's going to get better. He didn't at Man United. He didn't get any better. He got progressively worse. So I don't know why everyone thinks that time makes everything better. It doesn't. Some things get worse over time. If I leave my milk out, it doesn't get better over time.
He's not a bottle of wine, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's true though, isn't it? You look at it, right? You're absolutely right. Wine gets better over time. Milk
does. No, that is true.
It depends what it is. And Garnacho is what he is. He's never going to get any better. And the longer you keep him, the worse he gets because his attitude gets worse because he's got this perception that, I should be a starting player. Why? You're absolutely shit, mate. You don't perform on the pitch. So why should you start games just because you're Argentine? He's another one. Living off his nationality. If he was from Bulgaria, everyone would be like, don't sign him. He's absolutely shit. We need to sell him. He's crap. But again, he's Argentinian. It's a glamorous part of the world for footballers to come from. So everyone gives him loads of grace. He's absolutely dog shit.
If we're using the milk analogy, if you do eventually drink that milk you've let out age, you will be very sick. We're going to make a profit on this somehow. We will do it. I'm sure we will make a profit. It's interesting that because you always see Brazilian and Argentinian wonder kids, especially they are always rated so really highly just because of obviously, the heritage that Brazil and Argentina have. I suppose it's the same with England as well. An English wonder kid, like I hate to do this, but there's one that always sticks in my head. Reece Oxford was seen as generational. And
oh my God, yeah.
Nothing really he went to Germany. I remember that.
Augsburg, didn't he?
And he was like, he's going to be everything. And then he just, sadly, nothing happened. Yeah, it's sad. It's a shame. Yeah, well, there we go, listeners. Let us know who you thought was unfairly overrated, underrated, or fairly rated. Just let us know. with that, we are going to hit the match preview. We are having a quiet one. Welcoming Burnley to Stamford Bridge, and I'm told there is plenty of tickets available for this game, which is interesting. It's very interesting that there's game tickets available for a Premier League game. But where's Burnley? Well, they're 19th in the table with 4 wins, 6 draws, and 16 defeats. Their recent form is 1 win, 2 draws, 2 defeats. Player spotlight was bloody hard. I struggled here. I really struggled. I was going to pick Leslie Ugochukwu because he seems to have been, to be honest, he's the only one who I could consider as a really talented player. I mean, they've maybe
Done all right at Burnley, to be fair to him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Jaden Anthony. I really don't know.
They're a shit team. They haven't got anyone. They're shit.
I'm really struggling here. I'm trying my best. They've conceded the most goals in the damn league.
That's a league that's got Wolves in it.
And they've played one less game. What more do I say? So this is interesting. The last time Burnley beat Chelsea was on my birthday, 12th August 2017. What was the UK number 1 back then? It was Fields by Calvin Harris feet, Pharrell Williams, Katy Perry, and Big Sean. Well, guess we've got to pick a lion for this. This is Burnley. You know what? My girlfriend asked me if she should triple captain João Pedro this weekend. I was like, we're playing Burnley, who are shit. Like, it's a lot of responsibility.
But this is Chelsea playing
this is Chelsea
team at home.
Yeah.
So,
tough, Wheel's gone Romeo Lavia. Well, he's not playing.
Wheel's taking the piss.
He is back in training though. So,
he's always back in training until he gets injured again.
Oh, Wheel's gone Cole Palmer. Okay, that's just nice easy one for Wheel.
I'm gonna go with Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, I can't disagree. He's playing like the Lampard role now, getting in the box, scoring.
Yeah, I'm backing him to score.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the guy who could be triple captain this weekend. I'll go João Pedro. He's done me well this year. He's done me really well. Yes. Blue versus who? 3 questions on Burnley. As you know, they've won 4 Premier League games this season. Just name 2 of those 4 clubs they've beaten.
Oh, fuck's sake. Jesus. I'll be honest with you.
Overthink it. There's no surprise teams in here. There's no
because I know they drew at Spurs, didn't they?
Yeah, that's it. Don't start thinking, did they beat Arsenal? No, it's nothing crazy.
Nah, I don't remember them ever. Is Wolves one of them?
Wolves is in there.
Who else is down the bottom and shit?
That you would be along the right lines with that thought.
Forest?
No, not Forest. Let me have a look at the table and I'll give you a shout.
Bournemouth?
No, you've got team in 15th. Fucking hell. Team in 15th, a team who are 11th, and a team that are 13th. So bottom table teams.
Brighton?
Nope.
Palace?
Yes, Palace are on there. You got 2. There's 2. The other 2 were Leeds and Sunderland.
Oh, wow. Yes.
And interestingly,
terrible result for Sunderland, that.
In my head, I'm thinking Sunderland are top 10 still. And then you look at their recent fixture results and you're like, oh, yeah, that's not good.
No, guess who's going down next year?
Yeah, it could be. Number 2, Chelsea last played Burnley on the 22nd of November 2025. Which Burnley defender became the 29th player to start 400 games in the Premier League? Not for Burnley. That'd be a wild stat. 400 games.
Paul Walker.
Correct. And now I just need you to put, because we've reversed it, former or current Clarets in order of when they first joined Chelsea. We've got Danny Drinkwater, we've got Frank Sinclair, we've got Leslie Ugochukwu, Armando Broja, and Gary Cahill. So when did they first join Chelsea?
Well, Frank Sinclair's first.
1992.
Ugochukwu, Gary Cahill,
Drinkwater,
Broja. Cahill next.
2011. Well,
Ogachukwu last.
2011-12. Ogachukwu is 2023, yes. So now you got Broya.
So then it's just Drinkwater and Broya.
I'll give you the years. It's literally 1 year between them. 17 and 18.
Yeah, so Drinkwater and then Broya.
Correct. Christmas questions. We'll round off the show. I forgot to put out the post yesterday, so I had to do it quickly on Twitter this morning. I'm very grateful that people did see it and did respond. I ate the other Greg, who went with what am I baking this weekend? Milky Bar Millionaire Cookie Bars.
Oh.
Photos will be on my Instagram as always. So
you've got to start selling what you bake, by the way.
Right. Wow. That's a compliment which I'm grateful of. I've got a long list of stuff now up until June. I've got planned.
In fairness, you've got to start doing it just so I can eat some.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I owe you the toast one, don't I? I've got Sel Jed, who's got, you should do your team of the years. Well, I can't do it yet. I can't do it just yet. Someone did ask what was our take from the season that we feel we've got to do the Walk of Shame back on. And I'm like, you got to wait. You got to wait to the end of the season. You can't do that. It's too early. Well, I think I said Ekatike and Zubamendi would be flops. They're not. They haven't been. But I can't do it yet. You've got to wait till the end of the season because it's just one of them things. We could go and win the Champions League, and then suddenly it's like, wow, Mike really called that. You just don't know. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let's have a look. I know there was one on Twitter, which was very good. It's just stalling for time here while it loads. Come on, this app. Posts aren't loading right now. Of course you're not. No, they've loaded. They've loaded. We're all right. We're all good. We're back in the game. What Cortez? What players would Abramovich be targeting this summer? I'd guess Vinicius, Mignon, and probably Murillo or Bastoni. Yeah, you know what? We do need a left wing player. We're selling everybody apparently. Gittins' room to be off. Garnacho off. Mudryk can't play.
Let's face it, half of the players in our squad wouldn't have been signed in the first place. And you're looking at people. If Vinny Jr. was available, I think we'd be in for him. I think Osherman would already be here. I think Bastoni would be a target. Magnon, Shaw. Really, anyone who is top elite level and available. That's tended to be what we did.
I know he's not available. But he has been. Again, I've got to remember it's the Bundesliga. But Luis Diaz has been very good for them.
Yeah, he has. And to be fair, he was good for Liverpool. Not great, but he was good. He's better than any of our left wingers, which isn't hard.
Yeah, well, you could also, who would be one of our signings? There's a guy that would spoke about him before. He's called Rafa Leao. It's such an Abramovich signing. Like, look, we got Rafa Leao over here. Look at this, and you're like, yes, it's pretty.
He scored yesterday, I think.
But this is the thing. I can't remember. Sorry, listener, whoever it was that said about signing Rafa Leao. It would be such an Abramovich signing. Would it work? I don't know. I have no idea. No idea.
Would we care? No.
It's just because we just signed another top player next
we're just going to get someone else. That's fine.
I love it. It was great. It's like, did Shevchenko work out? No. That's all right. We'll just sign another top class player. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What's money? I don't know. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, yeah. It's a bygone era. Someone did say, quit living in the past. Look, it's nice to reminisce. It's part of history. It just like Arsenal's is the history of choking. Spurs is of just being Spurs. It's nice that we get to look back and go, look, who would we have signed then? Oh, nice.
We was good once.
We were. We are world champions. We have to remember that. We are still world champions. And with that, you've reached the other end, the end of another episode. So thank you for tuning in, listener. Before you go, don't forget, we're a proud part of Head in the Game, mental health charity using football, sport, well-being and community. You can find out more at headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well, please, because we'll be back on Monday with our winners and losers from Chelsea and Burnley. So that's going to be an interesting one. So until next time, that'll be us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.